Hi, and welcome to the Veterans Corner. My name is Chuck Woodin, and as always, I'll be your host for today. We have a special guest here from the EasterSeals Capital Region in Eastern Connecticut. Beth Pritchard. She's the Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing and Philanthropy. There we go. Officer. That was a mouthful. It was. Thanks for the help. Occasionally on this show, I do need help like that. But it's great to have you here, Beth. It really is.
Thank you, Chuck. It's great to be here.
You know, it's great to have you here for the simple reason that not many people realize that your organization does anything for veterans. Tonight you're gonna find out exactly what they do. How long has the EasterSeals Capital Region and Eastern Connecticut been serving the community?
So EasterSeals Capital Region, Eastern Connecticut has been around for 70 years. In fact, we'll celebrate our 70th anniversary this year.
Okay.
And throughout the years, we've been serving children, adults, seniors, and veterans and their families throughout our history. So.
You know, it's where exactly, how many facilities do you have and where are they located?
So we have 3 facilities. We have a facility in Windsor, East Hartford, and Norwich.
Okay.
And then, of course, in addition to those facilities, we're out in the community providing services in a variety of locations.
So those 3 facilities pretty much act as a base camp.
Yes.
Are all the services provided, well, actually, we just went over that, really. I mean, I was going to ask you if all the services provided are at the 3 facilities, but as we were just told, they're not. They're at the facilities and also out in the field.
That's right.
Who exactly do you serve?
So, again, we serve children, we serve adults, seniors, veterans and service members, and their families. So really, it's the whole lifespan.
Yeah, you pretty much have everybody covered there.
That's right.
Which is a good thing. And once again, it's something that the viewers, the community probably are not aware of. Do you only serve people with diagnosed disabilities, or is it just who exactly do you? I mean, is it just diagnosed disabilities, or is it other disabilities?
So we're all about removing barriers.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that barrier comes in the form of a diagnosed disability.
Yeah.
And other times it's not a diagnosed disability, it's a true barrier, and that might be unemployment, for example, can be a barrier to someone's leading a successful, independent
So it doesn't
life.
always have to be a physical barrier.
It may not be a physical or cognitive. It could be both or one or the other, or it could be situational.
You know, what type of life-changing services does your organization provide?
So we provide vocational services, medical rehab, so that's occupational therapy, speech, and physical therapy. We provide day support services. We have one of the largest neuropsychological practices in the state of Connecticut, which very few people know. And then, of course, we have our veteran and service member, including military family services as well. Yeah,
that's the part that we're looking forward to get into, and the viewers are too. You know, this whole thing is, whenever we have guests on, we try to expose everything that they do, and a lot of times these organizations, they do a lot for veterans, but they also have their own another mission during that they take care of, and it's a great way to expose that here. Can you tell our viewers about the EasterSeals Capital Region and Eastern Connecticut social enterprises businesses?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So in addition to the life-changing services that we offer, we have what we call social enterprise businesses. So the revenues that come from these businesses feed back into the organization to support the life-changing services we provide. So currently we have 3 social enterprise businesses. We have EnviroShred, which is a secure document destruction business. Yep. We employ people with a variety of disabilities or barriers or barriers. They're paid. They receive on-the-job training with the end goal of it's a training field that then they'll go out and secure permanent employment elsewhere in the community. But in the meantime, it provides real employment training, if you will. So it's highly secure. I welcome you to come sometime to our East Hartford facility and tour. You can see it in action.
I'd enjoy that.
It would be great. Additionally, we have janitorial services, so that's where we send staff out into businesses and provide cleaning services. And then we have the EasterSeals Gives Back Jewelry Program, and that is on a project-by-project basis. So we assemble or put together jewelry items that are designed specifically for a particular project. Again, all geared towards providing on-the-job training for individuals with disabilities and barriers.
Once again, that's something that I had no idea.
Yeah.
You know, how does your organization accept insurance? I mean, does it accept insurance?
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Yeah.
So we do. We accept all the private insurances. We also have Medicare, accept Medicare, Medicaid, and Husky. But the bottom line about our EasterSeals that we're talking about today is that we don't give up on anyone, regardless of your ability to pay. So, for example, when we talk in a little bit here about the veteran and service member services, those services are free of charge. So, you know, yes, we take insurance, and of course the others I mentioned. TRICARE is included in that. However, in the event someone doesn't have the ability to pay, we will not turn them away.
That's a nice, and that's for veterans?
That's the whole organization.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm. But certainly including the veterans and service members.
I was just going to ask you one of the other questions that I had written down here. What if someone doesn't have the financial means to pay or have insurance, and you pretty much, you know, covered that?
That's right. We say, you know what, that's okay. Come on in, and we're going to help you remove your barriers so that you can lead a more successful life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, we're right at the point where, you know, I had a number of questions that I wanted to ask you, you know, leading up to, you know, the veteran stuff, and we're actually there now. Can you tell the viewers about EasterSeals Capital Region and Eastern Connecticut's veterans and servicemen? Members rather, and military family programs. Now, it's important to note that it's not just veterans, it's current active duty that you look out for.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both, including their immediate families.
Yeah. Can you tell the viewers about the programs, you know, for them?
Absolutely. So throughout our 70-year history, which I mentioned to you, we've provided services to this group throughout those years. But what we did about a year ago is we established customized programming specifically for veterans and service members, including their immediate families. Given our research, given our review of the literature, we know that there are a lot of unmet needs with this group, and we are leveraging our experience and our expertise, and we developed this expanded programming, if you will. So these services are free of charge. If the veteran or service member or immediate family member has insurance, we will bill that, for example, TRICARE. But at the end of the day, if it's denied or there's no coverage, if you will, we will still serve them. So these services are 100% free, and they are philanthropy funded. Okay. So what are the services? The services are everything from, and let me step back and say we really took a holistic approach to this area of our programming. So treating the whole individual, including his or her family unit. So we're looking at vocational services. We know that employment, sustained employment is key to maintaining independence and sustaining that long term. Additionally, we have a commitment from the Department of Veteran Affairs. They send a VSO to our location on an as-scheduled basis to help veterans with navigating the benefits that they've earned. Additionally, we provide service coordination. So that might mean that, for example, if someone is homeless, we don't currently provide housing, but we have a collaborative partner that does. So we would work with that veteran and connect them to our collaborative partner and make that happen. In addition, we provide mental health. We can leverage the other services our organization provides in general that I mentioned earlier. And then we also have free professional clothing that we provide to an individual that we're helping with employment, a small food pantry as well. And then we also provide emergency financial assistance to those in need. And we couple that also when it's appropriate with some individual, or we provide group personal money management education as well. Again, looking at sustainability.
Yeah.
So as I always say to people, we are not a handout.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a handout, don't come to us.
Yeah.
We are about a hand up.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I've learned so much just already in the last few minutes, and I'm sure the viewers did too. You know, a lot of the organizations, they're out there. Everybody knows about them, but they don't know what they actually do. And I know that this show, when it airs, is going to be very informative for our viewers. I can tell that you're very passionate about veterans issues.
That's true.
Do you have anybody in your family or that are in active duty now or are veterans?
I do. Thank you for asking. And it's true. I am very passionate about the initiatives that we have. So my father was Air Force. My father-in-law, Army Ranger, Vietnam, TET. And my brother-in-law is currently a full bird colonel at the Pentagon, Army Ranger Special Ops.
Wow.
And my husband is Army veteran Cold War. And I'm proud to say that my nephew Connor is currently on a scholarship ROTC at Santa Clara Army.
That's great.
So
that's great.
Thank you.
Military family.
Absolutely. And I'm very proud of the important men in my life, if you will, for their service.
And you should be. And on behalf of the Veterans Corner, the staff here, the crew, we also thank them. And thank you for everything you do for the veterans. I mean, as we're learning here, you do quite a bit.
Well, thank you. Truly, we are honored to serve those who have served us.
You know, I don't know if you've answered this already, but is there a fee for the services for the veterans? I think you did answer that.
I'm happy to restate it just so that the viewers are clear. Our services are free to the veterans, service members, and their immediate families.
You know, I'm sure after going through, doing this for as long as you have, you must have some stories, some impact stories that maybe you can share. Obviously, names are protected,
Right.
But I mean, just anything that you'd like to share with the viewers of some of the success stories that you've seen.
Absolutely, I would be happy to. So, to give you a sense of what we're about, and we're not the organization that says, come on in, here's your check sheet, go down the hall and use the computer to find a job. That's not us. We're going to sit down, we're going to work together, we're going to establish a plan, and we're going to execute that plan, walking every step of the way with you, addressing whatever barriers that present or that you're facing. So a couple success stories that come to mind would be, for example, we had a female veteran who has 3 children living in a camper. And she reached out to us through a referral. By the way, veteran and service members can be self-referred to our programs, or they could be referred by another, just so we're clear on that.
Like one of the VSOs from the
Correct.
Veterans Affairs.
Yep. A therapist, a doctor, a clergy, and their individual self, if you will, can go ahead and just sign up and walk in. So female vet living in a camper with her children. Why? Because there was domestic violence in the home. She escaped that for safety reasons. We learned about them in August. Of course, September, school starts, and you cannot register for the public schools unless you have a permanent address in the district. Well, a camper is not a permanent address. So we provided first and last month's rent to help this female veteran get into an apartment, which is a permanent residence.
Meet the requirements.
Right. And she is working. The challenge was that initial outlay. She didn't have the ability to make that initial outlay of first and last month's rent. So we provided that to provide some secure housing. Things that we also can do is our gas cards, for example, or cards for groceries, things of that nature. She's doing much better. We also worked with her around there's some family law matters and so forth, and getting her in touch with individuals that can help on other extraneous issues, if you will, but still part of that whole family unit,
Yeah.
you know, the barriers they're facing. Another one would be a male veteran who was struggling to keep a job. And so he came to us and asked for assistance with employment, and we found him a job. He was on the job for a few days and walked off the job, decided it was not for him. Now, we knew there were other issues on board. This gentleman was struggling with some anger management.
Yeah.
And so we continued to work with him. We then secured a second job on his behalf. He went to that second job. Each time we're talking to him about the other barriers that we believe are at play,
Yeah.
getting him ready to address those in the event he hasn't been to date. Again, treating that whole person. And so then after the second job, he decided after a few weeks that wasn't for him. So he left that job. Again, he came right back to us. We continued to work with him. Then we asked him, look, and he agreed at that point, yes, it's time to address some of the other issues at play on the mental health side.
Yeah.
So that process started. Then we said, what would be your dream job? And he said, if I could get a job at Electric Boat, that would be heaven for me. And so we secured him employment with Electric Boat.
Wow.
So the point I'm making here is we didn't give up on him. We stayed with him even when the first job or the second job didn't work out. Yeah. And that is really characteristic of our organization. The last one I'll share with you is a female vet who is currently 8 months pregnant, has a 2-year-old, 4-year-old. Car repairs were needed. She needs a job. We did repair the car, so emergency financial assistance, evaluated the financial situation. We're working with her not only on the car repairs, finding her a job after the baby is born and she's situated, helping with some of the baby needs, and then also looking at where they're living and is there a possibility to move them frankly in a safer neighborhood.
Yeah. You know, there's once again, there's so many avenues out there for help for our veterans and their families.
Yeah.
A lot of them are hesitant to come out because they might have had a bad experience.
Right.
I think the message here is don't give up because there are people out there that won't give up on you.
That's right.
If you know a veteran that is in dire need of help, please. I mean, this show is all about giving you the resources to get that help, and we obviously have a great organization here. You know, that obviously doesn't give up. So
no, absolutely.
You know, and we've heard that over and over again. You know, they're just afraid to reach out for help. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the main reasons why we came up with this show, is to provide resources for them, highlight organizations like yourself and others that are out there. There's so many. We've done so many shows. I think this is number 63.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
And we can continue to do another 63. Brand new organizations coming out. So there's so many out there. And once again, hats off to you for everything that you do. Just those 3 stories are great. You're talking about barriers, transportation. What are some of the challenges, or should I say, what have you guys done as far as helping our veterans out with transportation for those that don't have it?
So we know, based on research, that transportation can be a barrier for our veterans. And so in addition, we have our Norwich facility where we currently operate our rally point, if you will. Yeah. And rally point simply means that's the core of where we provide a variety of these services. Yeah. And so we have plans to expand that and to grow that effort in Norwich, which we can talk about later. But relative to transportation, I do want to applaud SEAT for the transportation organization, the state. They worked with us in a very collaborative way, and they agreed to move the public bus stop right in front of our facility in Norwich, therefore making it accessible. In addition to that, our other facilities are on the bus lines as well, in Windsor and in East Hartford. But in addition addition to that, we have a fleet of 22 CNG vehicles, so compressed natural gas vehicles. We use those in our current programming. However, our CEO has agreed that we would dedicate at this point 2 of those vehicles for our veteran and service member facilities. Although we're not equipped currently, staffed to do door-to-door, we certainly can do central pickup and drop-off. So, for example, the quiet corner, as they call it.
Yes.
Right? There is a gap in the public transportation. It doesn't go quite as far up as we'd like it to.
Yeah.
So certainly we could arrange a central pickup and drop-off from that area down to one of our facilities, or to an area within the community where we could gather and provide a variety of services as well.
I'm sure there's a number of VSOs, American Legion, VFWs up in that area that might be able to coordinate with.
Absolutely. The coffee houses, the veteran coffee houses that they have. I've gone up and met with the Danielson Coffee House.
Yep.
I've actually, I believe, talked to all the coffee houses in the state. That's an amazing organization and things they're doing by bringing that community together in each local place. So yes, they've been great, and it's a great meeting place for veterans.
Do you work with other agencies, or you usually just do this solo? I mean, do you reach out and work together?
So we are all about collaboration.
Yeah.
And so how I describe it is we identify key stakeholders or collaborative partners, bringing what we each have by way of resources to the table, working together, collaborating, and leveraging what we each bring to drive the best outcomes for our veterans and service members. So we have some of our key partners of the Department of Labor, the Connecticut Department of Veteran Affairs, the VAs, a variety of other nonprofit organizations, again, all working together. I will say we are selective about our collaborative partners because we have 70 years of integrity and expertise and experience. And so we applaud our partners, and we really get the job done together.
There's so much here. We're down. I'm getting a word. We got 3 minutes left. It's probably 2.5 now, and there's so many more questions that I would love to ask, and with obviously very little time.
Right.
Would you be willing to come back?
I would love to come back, Chuck. Thank you for having us.
I mean, we can get into Rally Point, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. Maybe we can have you back soon. When's the Crystal Ball?
So the Crystal Ball is our signature fundraising event. And again, these veteran and military family services are philanthropy funded. So March 10th, Saturday, March 10th at the Marriott in Hartford.
So what we'll do is we will, that was one thing I want to touch on. So what we'll do is we'll definitely have you back soon so we can make sure it's well before, that event.
Thank you.
It's what I like to do is I'm sure we have your website.
Yes.
Your phone number, your contact information, I'm sure they're showing it on the screen right now. But just in case, would you like to tell them what your website is?
Absolutely. So there are 2 websites. There's EasterSeals.com/Hartford. That's our overall organization. And then there's veteransrallypoint.com. And that's also, if people want to learn more about our services, there's a plethora of information there, including purchasing ball tickets.
Yeah. It's, like I said, there's so many more questions I'd love to ask you. But what we're going to do is, we're going to save that for the part 2. We came into this show thinking it was just a one-part show, but there's so much information. You guys do so much good for the veteran community.
Thank you.
Their families, their supporters, and obviously them. Not only the veterans, but the current, active duty personnel.
Absolutely.
So, with that, Beth, the time is coming where we have to say goodbye,
All
unfortunately, to our viewers. But it was a very informative show, and I really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's all the time we have for this episode of the Veterans Corner. We hope you enjoyed the show and found it very informative. Special thanks to our guests, Beth from the EasterSeals Capital Region, Eastern Connecticut. And I'd like to say thank you also to our sponsor. Our primary sponsor for this show is American Legion Post 209 in Forestville. With that being said, my name is Chuck Woodin for the Veterans Corner. Thank you for watching, and good night.